Hi, as we're learning the body, we learned that our feet have a lot of little bones and have graceful, articulate movement. We move up to the pillars of our legs, which holds stability and structure, with one leg bone in the upper thigh and two in the lower. The pelvis is how our hips are made. If you put your hands on your hips, that's your pelvis, which is like a bowl of bones. And that's where your femur bones, your leg bones, attach to make your hip joints. From there, as we move on up to brighten our awareness in our body, the spine is the most amazing thing that human beings have. 26 individual bones, perfectly stacked, one on top of one another. They allow a great source of movement, flexibility, and actually, as we stepped into this bipedal posture, we altered our lungs and our respiratory system, which is what actually allowed us to have speech. So, from our pelvis, from where our hands are on our hips, this circular bowl shaped bone, many bones, comes the spine. Do this picture of the 26 bones because there's three major parts. The first part of the spine is the lowest part called the lumbar. And that has the biggest, like really massive vertebrae or discs, spinal vertebrae, bones. And these are big because they are weight bearing. And because their main job is to bear weight, they don't have much mobility, just a small bit of mobility, flexion forward and back, but not a lot when we twist or side bend. Then we have the thoracic spine, walking our way up. Each of the 12 thoracic vertebrae articulate with one of our ribs. So that's where the thoracic vertebrae are. And that has definitely a lot more movement. We move all the way up right to where our neck is, and this is our cervical spine. You can see the lumbar and the cervical spine have the same kind of curve, the same form of curve, where the thoracic has the opposite. So, just something to notice in the health of our body. The cervical are the smallest vertebrae, and so they're tender, they're really supporting and holding the skull and the neck. Our spine offers us a lot of movement because of the lot of bones, but also just the way that we can move our body because of it. So, main forms of movement in our yoga practice and in life. The first one is called flexion, and it's right at this hip point, right at the leg bones where we can flex or forward fold, is what flexion is. The other way we can move our spine is in a back bend. This is considered extension. And all the little vertebrae change the way that the muscles are, each muscle in between each vertebrae for the different ways that we stretch our spine. The other ways we can stretch our spine are laterally. So side bends can start to stretch the outside part of our spine. And then lastly, the way we can stretch our spine is in a twist. So, and we'll move through a practice to learn the lumbar spine don't twist that much, but from the belly button all the way to the sternum, we can really start to open up our twist and then finish it through the cervical spine. It's said that 80% of Americans suffer from back pain because as we sit in our bodies, gravity starts to pull the different vertebrae into and more compressed and condensed space. It's also said that an average American loses 1/3 of an inch of their height every 10 years. So, if we want to stay tall and vibrant and healthy, we want mobility in our spine in all different directions. This will add energy because if you think about it, inside the spinal cord, the spinal column, are thousands of afferent and efferent nerves coming from the peripheral of our body. It's really a bundle, a ganglion of nerves giving energy and information to your brain. So you don't want places that are in pain or dull or simply sinking into themselves. So stick with us. In this next practice, we'll move the spine in all different directions. And you can start to see if there's any part of your body that holds on to extra unnecessary tension from the hips through the neck. All right, thanks for paying attention for this video.